As Iran and the US stare over the brink again, is a key NATO ally now quietly rolling out a new drone shield weapon that could change how targeted killings and anti-drone wars are fought? With Turkey's new Neşter missile turning armed drones into flying scalpels, are we seeing the next evolution of warfare where small UAVs deliver surgical kills instead of city-shaking blasts? As Bayraktar TB2s evolve from simple bomb droppers into precision drone hunters, is Ankara doubling down on a future where it can pick off individual targets far from home with minimal collateral damage? If Neşter sidesteps the tight US export rules that bind American missiles, is Turkey positioning itself as the go-to supplier for nations that want assassin-grade weapons without Washington strings? So is this bladed warhead really Turkey's answer to America's secretive R9X flying Ginsu Hellfire, an open, export-ready version of the same lethal idea? As Iran and the US teeter on the edge of a ceasefire deal, one NATO state is unveiling a new system meant both to fight hostile drones and to give its own UAVs far more precise killing power. Turkey has now shown off a flying Ginsu-style missile clearly inspired by the US R9X concept, signaling that the once secret bladed warhead idea is going mainstream. Defense firm Roketsan revealed the new Neşter munition at the SAHA 2026 Defense Expo in Istanbul, using the show to pitch it as the next step in precision air-to-ground weapons. The weapon is reported to copy the pop-out blade design of the US AGM-114R9X Ninja Hellfire, swapping blast for blades that slice through a target at extreme speed. Instead of a conventional explosive warhead, the missile carries 6 sword-like blades that deploy in flight, turning the body itself into a high-speed, spinning cutting tool. Turkish officials say the system is meant for surgical strikes that kill a specific person or vehicle while minimizing collateral damage in crowded streets or rugged terrain. Fittingly, it is named Neşter, after a medical scalpel, underlining the message that this is supposed to be a scalpel-like tool in the hands of drone operators, not a blunt bomb. Neşter is pitched as a precision, low-collateral guided assassination munition, built to hit very specific targets with tightly confined effects. It is developed by Roketsan in Turkey, the same ecosystem that helped turn Bayraktar drones into a battlefield brand. The missile is based on the proven MAM-L lightweight smart micro-munition platform that TB2s have used in multiple wars. Its defining feature is a set of 6 pop-out blades that replace a traditional explosive warhead. The primary role is targeted strikes against particular individuals or vehicles, rather than broad-area bombing. Neşter is designed mainly to be carried by drones and light attack aircraft, giving small platforms a high-precision kill option. It is expected to use laser guidance similar to MAM-L, potentially with more advanced terminal targeting steps in the final dive. A proximity sensor triggers the blades to deploy moments before impact, maximizing cutting power while limiting blast effects. There is no explosive warhead at all. The weapon relies entirely on kinetic energy plus the blade strike to do its damage. The overall concept is directly inspired by the US AGM-114R9X flying Ginsu Hellfire variant used in covert strikes. Under the skin, the new weapon rides on Roketsan's lightweight MAM-L smart micro-munition, a design already battle-tested on multiple fronts. MAM-L first made headlines as the go-to weapon under Bayraktar TB2 wings, where it became a symbol of Turkey's drone revolution. Turkish TB2s have used MAM-L in Syria, Libya, Ukraine, and Karabakh, proving the basic guidance and warhead package across very different battlefields. Unlike earlier variants, Neşter strips out blast and thermobaric warheads entirely, eliminating the big explosion that usually follows impact. Instead, it relies on sheer impact speed and extending metal blades, allowing it to rip into a car, pickup, or room without throwing shrapnel far beyond the target. Neşter uses 6 pop-out blades, matching the blade count widely reported on the US R9X Hellfire. Just before impact, a proximity sensor triggers the mechanism, snapping the blades out from slots in the missile's body. Those blades deploy fractions of a second before contact, maximizing cutting power while sharply limiting wider blast damage around the aim point. In theory, that allows the weapon to slice through a vehicle roof or wall right where the intended target is sitting, while leaving neighboring seats or rooms far less affected. The base MAM-L round uses semi-active laser guidance, and Neşter is expected to inherit that core guidance logic for final targeting. Engineers are also exploring a human-in-the-loop mode, in which an operator can steer the final dive and abort at the last second if conditions change. Such a control mode depends on robust data links and upgraded ground stations capable of sending real-time corrections all the way to impact. Developers may add imaging seekers later, but for now the focus is on making the basic blade deployment and guidance reliable and safe to field. Turkey has steadily expanded cross-border drone operations against PKK fighters in Iraq, Syria, and beyond, relying heavily on precision airstrikes. Those operations intensified after ceasefire with the PKK collapsed in 2015, pushing Ankara toward more frequent, targeted killings rather than large-scale ground offensives. The new blade-equipped missile fits neatly into Turkey's push for low collateral counterinsurgency strikes, where political cost rises sharply with every civilian casualty. Roketsan also clearly sees export demand from states that want to claim reduced civilian harm, selling Neşter as a more ethical option for high-value killings from the air. Unlike US weapons bound by strict export rules, Turkish systems face fewer American regulatory hurdles, making them attractive to buyers who struggle to get similar US kit. Even so, reports caution that Turkey still has to complete testing and integration before Neşter is truly ready for routine frontline use, leaving questions about how soon this scalpel will see real combat. Turkey has unveiled the country's first intercontinental range ballistic missile, named Yıldırım, marking a significant step in Ankara's push to develop longer-range strike capabilities. Analysts have described the Yıldırım as a major expansion of Ankara's long-range strike ambitions, suggesting it is intended to project power far beyond Turkey's immediate neighborhood. The unveiling comes at a time when other NATO members are also expanding their missile and long-range drone capabilities as part of deterrence planning against Russia. The missile is estimated to have a range of around 6,000 kilometers, positioning it between intermediate range and full intercontinental range systems. Reports indicate that the Yıldırım is expected to reach a speed of over Mach 20, aimed at complicating interception. System is designed for long-range strike missions, targeting infrastructure and military facilities at significant distances. The missile uses a 4-engine configuration, intended to provide the thrust for an intercontinental trajectory and improved payload flexibility. It is powered by a liquid fuel propulsion system, which allows high performance but also brings logistical and readiness drawbacks. The Yıldırım reportedly relies on a nitrogen tetroxide-based fuel system, a type of hypergolic propellant used in several legacy ballistic missile designs. Positioned between IRBM and ICBM class, the missile blurs the technical line that traditionally separates medium and long-range deterrent systems. Turkey's growing missile arsenal could expand NATO's strike depth across Europe and the Middle East, giving the alliance more options for flexible deterrence. Turkey is one of the few Middle East states to receive Western support and technology transfer for missile development, reflecting its strategic value within the alliance. Iran, by contrast, has faced sweeping Western sanctions over its own missile deterrent programs, limiting its access to advanced components and testing infrastructure. Analysts say this contrast highlights Ankara's unique position and importance within NATO's broader regional security and deterrent structure. Turkey's relatively low labor costs and expanding industrial base have helped the country emerge as a major exporter of defense systems, including drones and missiles. The Yıldırım program has also raised the possibility of future exports to NATO allies, especially those seeking affordable, long-range options. However, analysts have cautioned that the Yıldırım is not considered a particularly advanced design compared with newer solid-fueled ICBMs in other arsenals. Its liquid fuel propulsion system requires longer preparation and launch time, increasing its vulnerability in a high-threat environment. Most countries producing ICBMs have already transitioned toward faster solid fuel systems, which allow quicker response and better survivability on the ground. Reports suggest Turkey may still require technical assistance from NATO partners such as the United States and the United Kingdom to refine guidance, materials, and production methods. Turkey's Roketsan has unveiled the Tayfun Block 4 ballistic missile at SAHA 2026 in Istanbul, marking a significant moment in the public presentation of Ankara's growing indigenous missile capabilities. It was the first time the missile was shown publicly, displayed mounted on its 8x8 wheeled launcher, giving observers a clearer look at how the system is intended to operate in the field. The Tayfun family is widely seen as Turkey's most ambitious homegrown ballistic missile program, reflecting the country's determination to build a more advanced and self-reliant strike capability. Turkey's Tayfun Block 4 ballistic missile is reported to measure approximately 10 meters in length, making it a large and imposing addition to Ankara's growing missile arsenal. The missile is also said to weigh around 7.2 tons, underlining both its heavy strike profile and the scale of the platform Turkey is now showcasing. Reports further indicate that the Tayfun Block 4 can achieve speeds exceeding Mach 5, placing it in a high-speed category that would make interception far more challenging in a conflict scenario. The 8x8 wheeled launcher configuration was also visible at SAHA 2026, further highlighting the missile's road-mobile design and the emphasis on operational flexibility. Such road-mobile missile systems are generally considered more survivable than silo-based or fixed-position launch platforms, because they are harder to locate, track, and destroy in a conflict. Roketsan had earlier described the Block 4 as the largest and most powerful variant in the Tayfun family, underscoring the scale of Turkey's latest step in missile development. Turkey has been making notable progress in its missile capabilities amid persistent regional tensions, and the Tayfun Block 4 appears to symbolize that broader strategic momentum. Speculation about a possible Turkey-Israel war has intensified as the wider Middle East conflict sharpens old hostilities and pushes both sides into a more openly confrontational posture. Tension surged further after Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan likened Benjamin Netanyahu to a modern-day Hitler, adding to the already toxic war of words between Ankara and Tel Aviv. A British daily also falsely quoted Erdogan as threatening to invade Israel, but that report was later taken down after questions were raised over the authenticity of the remarks. Not just Erdogan, voices from Israel have also turned increasingly anti-Turkey, showing that the rhetoric is hardening on both sides rather than flowing in only one direction. Former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett described Erdogan as a sophisticated and dangerous adversary, warning that Turkey is emerging as a serious long-term challenge for Israel. Turkey and Israel now appear to be moving beyond petty disputes and are increasingly viewing each other as strategic rivals with competing regional ambitions. While Palestine remains a core driver of hostility, the tensions are now spreading across several strategic fronts, including regional influence, Syria, maritime routes, and broader Middle East power alignments.